Hello and welcome to this edition of Woman to Woman. I am your host, Anntricia Bray Smith, your professional mentor and speaker. And we're continuing on with our financial education for season 3 of Woman to Woman, as we're going to do a 2-for-1 also with the Money and Mindset host, Sheryka Alford. So we thank you for joining us today. Season 3 has been nothing like of just enlightening and empowering for this segment of dedicating season 3 of Woman to Woman to financial education, because we understand that this is the element that we miss. We know how to get the good job. We know how to get the education. We know how to uh, pay the bills and accumulate all these things, but yet we're still missing the element of financial education. And so today I want to bring to the table the awareness of where our money is going. And this is also important for the money and mindset audience, is to understand what is taking our money. Are we really aware? So we're doing all this budgeting and planning and investing in retirement, but yet some of our money still continues to sift through our fingertips, and we have no idea of where it's going. So Sheryka, welcome to the set.
Hello.
To the Woman to Woman set, but also guys from the Money and Mindset, we're no strangers to you, as we're doing a 2-for-1 today. So Sheryka, go ahead and tell the Woman to Woman audience in season 3 who you are and what it is that you do.
I am Sheryka Alford, and I am I guess you would say I'm a financial literacy advocate. I am the creator of the Proactive Planner website, as well as the co-host of the Money and Mindset podcast. So I just enjoy talking about just the everyday things as far as finances are concerned, because that impacts every area of not only our lives as individuals, but the lives of those who are near and dear to us as well. So, right now, I'm really geared towards, hey, while we're trying to get our money issues together, be sure to teach the kids, be sure to teach the nieces and the nephews, and just the neighbor down the street, any child or teen that you are associated with. Be sure to drop little helpful nuggets to them as well, because here's the thing: we don't have to experience everything firsthand. There are some lessons that we can learn by other people's mistakes. So, you know, as you're, figuring out your budgets and increasing your wealth and all the things, just be sure to share that with the younger generation.
Yeah, that's so true. And tell also show us that book that you have, where you and your children,
How did
they
I
wrote a
leave
book.
this out? Let's see. This is called Many Money Lessons for Teens. It's the little guide that sparks big discussions, by Sheryka Alford and Trinity Alford, which is my teenage daughter, and my son Donovan, who's a teenager as well. He's the contributing editor. But you can purchase a copy of the book at Amazon.com, and basically, it not only teaches teenagers basic, the core money management tips, but it also encourages that conversation, those discussions with either the parents, teachers, mentors, or whomever. So be sure to get your copy of Many Money Lessons for Teens, and just get started.
Absolutely. And I thought this would be a good time for us to collaborate on this topic, because uh, we need to know where our money is going. What things are we leaving out of our plans, out of our budgets, that is taking our money, and we're just letting it sift through and not really being aware of it. And so I want to kind of dig into that, because in your book, it's not just a book you read, it's also something that you're going to have to go through these scenarios and really apply knowledge and what you would do in these type of situations, which first off has one major factor in where our money is going. And while we don't know where it's going, I am aware that sometimes when I go to my favorite store that I love to shop, everything costs $1, but yet sometimes if I'm not taken into consideration of being intentional with that, sometimes I can really add up those dollars and spend too much. So now I make it a plan to not only give myself a budget, but really make sure I'm not picking up these extra little things just because it's $1 and it's taking more money than I had intended to spend. So it makes me more accountable. So when we look at being aware of where our money is going and being able to track those things that are slipping through our fingers, what is some suggestions you have? What is your perception on where some of our money is going that we're allowing to slip through our fingers?
Well, just from a general sense, I personally believe that anytime you don't plan ahead, you're just setting yourself up for what I'm just going to call waste. Like you said, you go into your favorite store, and if you're not intentional, you're not careful, those $1 add up to $50 and then times three because you went there 3 times last week. But when I say plan ahead, it's like, okay, do you have your list? What are you going in the store for in the first place? And so I think it helps that whenever we go in, before we go into a store, to at least have our list and stick to the list. How about that?
And that's the thing, because when I go, I'm going as a reward. It's like oh wow, I get to go to my favorite store. I wonder what they have today, because really I don't need anything.
Well,
And
even if it's for the reward, just set, okay, if that's the case, then just do a hard set dollar amount. It's like, okay, if we're just going, because I believe in rewarding. Yes, you absolutely should reward yourself. I mean, life is too short to not enjoy it. Why not? But if that's the case, have a dead set dollar amount. Um, Carry cash. If you say, okay, I'm only going to spend $20, and you just walk in there with $20, if you get up to the register and it's 22.95, ma'am, can you please put back these 2 items? So carry cash to keep you accountable. Um, Outside of just those individual store trips, when we deal with planning ahead, let's think about whenever we're going to get either a lump sum of money, or say just additional money coming into the household that we usually don't have. Start thinking in advance. Okay, what am I going to do with this money when I get it? And if you don't know the exact amount of money, either break it down into percentages. Prioritize what is it that you need to do within your household. Are you paying off debt? Are you investing for retirement? Are you saving up for college, or whatever your priorities are? You could say, okay, I'm expecting a lump sum of money. These are my priorities. I'll put this percentage here, that percentage there, or that dollar amount there. So I mean, just the whole thing is just planning.
yeah, and I know that that is where many of us lack, especially me. As much progress as I made, the more I'm going out to speak in different places about financial education, uh, I see my shortcomings. And many of that, the puzzle has to be complete. So you don't want missing pieces of the puzzle. You want to be able to put those pieces together.
Right, that is so true. And guys, I'm just going to tell you, sometimes the words that we speak from our mouth and the attitudes that we have right off the bat, they do more damage to us. You know, I know we're talking about being aware of where your money's going, and there are some of us, we're like, well, I can't do this, or I can't save, or I can't. If you start out with that talk and that thought, then yes, you're right. Then you can't and you won't. And it's because you choose to not. So before we even get to that point, let's just, set it up. Maybe it's like, okay, hey, I've stumbled in the past, because we all have stumbled in the past, but I am bound and determined by listening to the Woman and Woman podcast and the Money and Mindset podcast and all those good words of encouragement. I am bound and determined to improve my financial habits and behavior. So let's start with that first. So just know that starting out, even if you start out with saying, okay, I'm going to take out $5 or $10 a check to put it towards my emergency fund or towards retirement or towards paying off this debt, whatever you're putting it towards, say it, you're planning for it, then do it. And then over time, you just kind of gradually increase those increments, and you'd be amazed at the progress you've made.
Yeah, because I'm seeing a lot of progress now, and now I have money in my accounts and I'm sitting on it, and it's like, wow, what if I've done this years down the line, but it just goes to show we don't know what we don't know and how it impacts our progress moving forward. And so, what are some things that we're not aware of that is taking on our money? Well, I'm glad you asked that question, because one of the things that I can see is that I've taken on responsibilities that were not mine, whether that be from a spouse or whether that be from children, and whether that be from family during special events and things like that. So we take on this Wonder Woman syndrome, and it feels good when we give and when we take some of that financial responsibility off of our children, so to speak. And so that's one of the places that I find that we're missing where our money is going, because we have it and because we want them to have, we're giving, and we're not accounting for that. So that's one of the places I want us to look. Who are we giving our money to?
Yeah, also, uh, fees. Are we giving our money to financial institutions unnecessarily? Now, I do realize, depending upon what your individual circumstances may be, you may have certain loans or whatever that are going to take you a bit of time to clear up, and you have to pay just the regular run of the mill interest rates. But are you being hit with, say, late fees because you're not making those payments on time? Or are you being hit with convenience fees because, let's say, you're using your bank debit card at ATM machines that don't support that bank or aren't affiliated with that bank? Are you being hit with those fees? So just
And
kind of
even
look.
those cash backs, in the stores where they now give you that convenience where you don't have to go to the ATM and you can select cash back.
Oh yeah, they'll charge you.
There's
Some of them will charge you because, funny story. I went into one of the stores and I was like, "Oh yeah, well that'll save me a trip to the ATM machine on the way home, honey." I hit that cash back and they showed it was gonna be whatever amount fee. I said, "Oh no, never mind. I don't want that," because I could just drive right on through my credit union's ATM machine on the way to the house. So yeah, you got to be mindful. Be mindful about that. And guys, you know if you bank with someone and you look up and there's just every month there's just fees, it is okay to shop around. It is really okay to shop around. I know me personally, I have a tendency to lean towards credit unions because I notice that they don't seem to have as many fees as the major banks. So um, no one's going to have more of a vested interest to look after your coins than you are. So that's up to you.
Yeah, when you're talking about fees, I even finally got it. I know we talked about it on the Money and Mindset podcast before, but we haven't here on Woman to Woman. I was paying bank fees every month, and you made me aware that sometimes you have to talk to your banks to see what it takes to eliminate those bank fees. And when you look at $7 fees every month, that's 7 times 12, that's really going to add up. And so I was able to have a certain amount in my account. So now I don't have to worry about paying those fees every month to have that account. And so that's another place that I was not aware that every month money was leaving my hands, and I had no idea that this is what's going on.
Mhm.
And if you caught Woman to Woman last week I talked about taxes. And so this is just another way we're letting money slip through our fingers. We have no idea how much we're allowing the government to have because we don't know how to get our money back and allow our money to work for us. And so that's another place I'm going to have you to really take a look at. How much are you leaving on the table during tax season? This money is slipping through your fingers, and that money is rightfully yours, especially if you're a business owner. You know, you ought to be keeping track of those receipts and that mileage and things that you're spending your money on so that you're not leaving money on the table.
Absolutely. That's absolutely true. And if by chance, if you receive statements in the mail, whether it be from your insurance carrier or from your bank, if you receive like the monthly statements, check to see how your account is set up, because you may be paying anywhere from $1 to $3 to $5 each month just to have those statements mailed to you, as opposed to having them sent via email. So you may want to look into that. And if you're comfortable with switching to having your information emailed to you, then you may consider that, because some companies do charge you. Because for one, think about it, they're having to pay postage and processing and, the paper, the ink, all the things. So uh, a lot of companies will charge you for having paper statements mailed to you as opposed to having them sent to your email.
And that is so true. And then also, if you're not paying those bills straight from a bank account and you're using a credit card, those can be additional fees that you're having to pay just for the convenience of using that credit card rather than having it just withdrawn from your bank account. So yeah, I mean, so many things, even just sitting here, that I was, blind to, but it's costing us money. And when you think about it, $1 here, $3 there, six, $7 there, that adds up. That adds up, and that money belongs to you, and you're just giving it away because somebody has to pay for it. And guess who's doing it? We are. We are the little man, and our money is just being drawn out all over the place.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I know some people are like, oh, it's just $1. Well, the way things are going now, you could take that same just $1 and invest it and let it grow. That way, instead of you paying interest on something, you actually getting some dividends and interest on something. So don't look at it as it's always just $1, because those dollars do add up and you could put them to work for you.
Yeah, it's just $1, and it's just your financial future at stake. So look at it that way. I think this has been good. We know, um, we can see the physical things, where our money is going, and we can be more aware and intentional of that. But some of the things that we've mentioned here today, maybe you haven't been as aware. So it's good to take a look at that and go back, listen to season 1, listen to season 2 of the Money and Mindset. Also tune in to season 3 if this is your first time, and also go back and listen to every single bit of season 3 of Woman to Woman, as it is crucial to your financial future, because I have shared with you so many things with financial education that maybe you did or did not know, but it helps to refresh. Even me, I'm making leaps and bounds financially. And this has been my most rewarding financial weeks that I've had in my entire life. And so understanding where to place that money and how to utilize it so that it benefits me greatly in the long run, that is hands down more rewarding than anything that I can ever say. And I could not do that without um, being intentional about getting a financial education and investing in that, as I've shared here on the Woman to Woman podcast and broadcast, but also sharing that information so that other women and their organizations are empowered as well. Sheryka, I appreciate you being here with me on the segment today, and thank you for agreeing to this collaboration, and as it is beneficial to not only the woman to woman audience, but also the Money and Mindset podcast as well. Tell us where we can find you and connect with you.
Well, you can connect with me. Well, all my information is on theproactiveplanner.com. If you like to just go there to the site, and also Facebook, The Proactive Planner. So you can connect with me there.
Right. That's a good resource, guys. So connect with her, especially if you're trying to uh, come up with strategies and plans for getting your financial future lined up in the way that you want it to be. Until next time, here on the Woman to Woman podcast, I am your host, Anntricia Bray Smith, your professional mentor and speaker, and for the Money and Mindset.
Till next time, guys, I'm Sheryka Alford.